Hi, I'm Kathy Callahan Brady, and welcome to In the Trenches. This is a great time that we get to have. We interview all of our advisors to our clients, and I am here with Jeff Pontius from Blue Pillar.
Good morning.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it.
Excited to be here.
Yeah. Are you sure?
I am.
Looked at the questions.
I am excited to be here.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, one, I really wanted to thank you. Getting up at 7:30 in the morning and showing up to be able to advise our clients, I know that's really hard, and
Sure.
You've got a busy life.
No, it's been great. It's inspiring. It's inspiring to see all that activity happening in Frederick County,
Yeah.
so it's exciting. We
It's
enjoy
kind of
it.
cool to watch their success too, and as
Super
they're
cool.
really changing each quarter.
Yeah, it's been great. It's
yeah.
been wonderful. So it's been great to be a part of it. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Blue Pillar. You guys were a FITSE
Yep.
graduate.
Yes,
Yeah.
truly a FITSE graduate. Yeah, so Blue Pillar, our company, we are IoT software platform for what we call behind-the-meter energy assets or energy infrastructure. In the energy landscape right now, there's a lot of things changing, how we manage energy, how we conserve it, how we are more resilient against some of the outages and things like that. What our company does is it helps connect things behind a utility meter to make it more efficient, more resilient, more capable of dealing with all these changes. And it's done in a 21st century way. It's an IoT platform, so up in the cloud. It's
IoT,
interesting.
just in case people.
Internet of Things,
Okay.
connectivity type of play.
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
No.
And I'm wondering how many people are still going, huh? What is that? Because I remember the first time Tom's in
Sure.
our Vistage group, and
Sure.
the very first time I thought, what the heck is he talking about?
Yeah, sure.
Because it is kind of new, exciting technology.
It is. It's really exciting. So it's why I joined 5 years ago. I have a background in technology and energy, and this company is truly, really at the crossroads of an energy landscape, which is changing, and it's very exciting, but also on the technology side of what's going on. I mean, an example or a use case, some of our customers are very large hospital systems that have, call it, let's say, 15 hospitals in a regional area, and they want to centralize the facilities management of those hospitals. They want to know how much fuel is in my generator if power to go off and I have somebody in the emergency room. They want to know everything about those hospitals, and they don't want to have to rely on clipboards and manual facility operators all across their region. The COO wants to be able to sit and understand, are my hospitals resilient? Are they ready for a bad situation with the power grid? That's one use case. On a completely other side, we have energy services companies, very large, some of the world's largest energy service companies, that want information and data about the assets they have out in the field more quickly so they can make more money, right? So in the hospital, it's much more resiliency, make sure everybody's okay. They're over there saying, hey, if I have this information as opposed to once a day, if I have it every 5 minutes, my traders can take different positions and different hedging positions, and they can do different things to actually improve their trading margin. And so we can go out and connect those assets, those, whether it be generators or just meters or solar facilities, any number of things. And that all has to do with what's been going on kind of behind the meter and in the energy landscape has changed a lot in the last 10 years, and what you can go about doing with it.
It's changed a lot just in the last 5 years.
It just
amazing.
continually happened. And it's really, truly at the tip of the iceberg. Everyone's kind of probably already tired of hearing about solar and this and that. We're still very much at the tip of the iceberg. So it's exciting. It's an exciting place to be.
Have any idea what we're looking for in the next 5 to 10 years? We were just talking about how it goes by so quickly.
It does. I mean, I think the two biggest trends that we're seeing, one is the combination of a renewable energy source like a solar facility or a solar panels with an inverter and backup battery storage. So it's one thing, solar can only produce when the sun's shining and it spits out its energy, and then it's, okay, what do I do now? Having the ability to store that for nighttime or for off-peak loads is a very interesting concept. The economics aren't quite there yet, but they're getting there quickly. The other side is electric vehicles. I had a really interesting conversation with a very large multinational company the other day about their electric vehicle kind of strategy, and the idea of, I own a retail location, I own an office building, and suddenly, without doing anything to my business, my load just went up 50% because all of my employees or my customers are driving electric vehicles, and when they come to my establishment, they expect to be able to plug in. Okay, well, how do you do that? How do you pay for that? I mean, it's a part of this load infrastructure bank to say, okay, well, how are you going to start managing that? It's not really an energy problem. It's a capacity problem of more of these electric fleets being kind of out in the grid, I guess. And it's an extension of the grid. So that's changing a lot, and that's going to only begin to really explode in the next decade. And we got to figure out how we get smarter about managing it. We just can't keep going building power plants and burning coal and doing all the rest of this. We got to get a lot smarter about it. So we're trying to help. We're a part of that process.
Yeah. Well, a great part of that process.
It's exciting, yeah.
Yeah. A great part of you guys being here in Frederick, too. You're not originally from Frederick.
Well, I actually am. Tom's
you?
not.
Oh, okay.
Tom's the Midwesterner they came over. I was born and raised in Frederick.
Okay.
Left for 20 years.
Okay.
And then just came back 4 or 5 years ago. Right. So came home.
What did you do before Blue Pillar?
Blue Pillar. So before Blue Pillar, my first 10 years of my career was with Intel Corporation.
Oh, okay.
Spent a lot of time of those 10 years, 6 of those years were in China. We were growing sales and marketing. China was ramping. It was early 2000, ramping tremendously with manufacturing, both and on the sales and marketing side. So had opportunity to spend about 6 years there with them. And then ultimately found my way back, landed in California, and the renewable energy boom was kind of taking off. So I jumped ship, and part of the going into the startup world, I left Intel and went to do my first startup in 2008. It was a renewable energy solar company. Did that for about 6 or 7 years, and then literally ran into Tom about 4 or 5 years ago and joined Blue Pillar.
Very exciting. Yeah. And so you're the COO?
I'm the CFO, technically.
CFO.
I guess VP of Finance and Business Operations, so it's kind of Tom's right-hand guy. I run finance on that side and help him out, in terms of running the business.
So your background and everything you just explained, I'm sitting here now realizing all the different questions and the advice that you've given people. Right. And you've given really great advice. But yours is definitely, like we were just talking about, one specific client, just getting into those financials and really watching the numbers quite a bit.
Absolutely. I mean, I've had a lot of benefits throughout my career being able to do different things. My technical, classical training is in finance, and I've been in finance for most of that time. But the ability to go to a small startup, it's one of the things you could wear many hats. And that's a blessing, it's a curse, but you learn a lot in the process. And if you're ready to dive in and you have that curiosity to learn, you can do a lot of different things that you wouldn't have otherwise gotten the opportunity to do at a larger company.
Wow.
So.
Well, you do give amazing advice, so thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. So this gives our audience sort of an opportunity to get to know our advisors a little bit. And I always like asking the question. So if you were going to leave them with a piece of advice, what would that be?
Yeah, I mean, so much, right? What's one single piece of advice?
One.
Yeah, there's a couple of things, I guess. If you don't mind, I'll do a few. Well, one being, what I found, especially going from a big company where you have a little bit more surrounding, a little more safety net with you, going to a smaller company, it's the ability to effectively prioritize your time. Not only like every quarter, every month, every week, every day, almost every hour, because there's a whole list of 5 things. You look around your company like, oh, these things are broken. I need to fix these. These are all things I need to fix. But which ones are going to kill you? Which ones, even though you might want to work on these and you might gravitate towards these where you're more comfortable with, these 3 are going to kill you. And so being able to effectively every day get back to what do I need to be working on right now?
Performance-based, cash-based, revenue-based.
Something, right? What is driving that? And always making sure you have whatever system you use, whether it's online, whether it's a piece of paper, whether it's a notepad or a stick-it note, it's when you come back from that meeting, you come back to that desk, and you've got an hour, what do you have to go to? Really being very effective at prioritizing your time. That's one thing I learned. I did a horrible job of it starting up, and then I realized it's just that important. You tend to gravitate back to what you know or what you're good at. The other piece of advice I would say is, when you're ramping or when you have that opportunity to really turn the corner and it starts to go, you need to try to hold the line as much as you possibly can, coming from the cash side of the cash is king, it is your lifeblood. I've been in situations where I think we've got this figured out. We go ramp, and then, we don't have this figured out, or the market's not there yet. We have a good solution, but the market's not ready for us, and then you're stuck a little bit, and you got ahead of your skis. It's better to put in those longer hours and feel like you're almost like the wheels are coming off the bus. As best as you can hold that line, try to hold that line until you absolutely, no question, this thing is taken off, and so now let's go support it. It's tough. It's tough to know that line. It's tough to know when to start and to stop. But that's the biggest piece of advice I'd say is try to hold the line on growing from a headcount, operational costs, everything until you know you've got this figured out. Kind of got that market fit.
And what you should be working on, not working on.
Exactly. The last one's perseverance. The last one is just, if you're in this game, you have to have that as an utmost characteristic. That's just a part of you.
Even though we plan, you can't plan for everything. There's just no way.
And you got to get up and you got to keep moving forward.
Doing it. That's for sure. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Sure.
They're all very good advice. You want to leave them with a quote or a book or
quote.
Anything else?
Something. So I'll do a quote and just from a book standpoint. So I'll do the book first. There's a book, and it has nothing to do with the business book, so I apologize.
Okay.
That's
Nope.
that's the route we were going. But
Nope.
there's a book that is called Killer Angels, and it's about the 4 days at Gettysburg. It was written back in early 1970s by a guy named Michael Shar, and it's literally about 4 days. It's an incredible book about the leadership of the people that were involved on both sides, and so it's a historical. It's a fictional, but it's historical based on all the letters written and the actual things that happened there on those days. But it talks about the leadership required to take them through and what some of these men and women went through in going through it. It won the Pulitzer. It's an incredible book on leadership. It's called Killer Angels. It's called Killer Angels. Yeah, and it's about the Battle of Gettysburg, and it's a leadership book. A second one would be A Long Walk to Freedom from Nelson Mandela. If you want to read a book about perseverance and understand, in terms of being an entrepreneur and persevering, you can't go wrong with that one. That was an incredible book. All right, so inspirational quote. So John Harbaugh, who is the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, and then Jim, his brother, was the 49ers coach, and now he's the Michigan football coach. There's a great story. They met in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and there's a great story. Their dad was a longtime football coach, bounced around a lot, never had the success quite that they had. But there's this great story that Jim Harbaugh told when he became the 49ers head coach, and I've used it with my children ever since, and I think it's incredible. He said that every single day, his dad, because he moved around a lot, because he was a coach and he would get fired, he'd have to pick the family up, move to a new city. And he said, but when we were in elementary school, because my dad was a coach, he would be able to drive us to school most of the day. And he'd drive us to school. And he said every day he would drive us to school. He would turn around the station wagon. He'd look at the two of us. I was 8 and John was 10. He said, boys, grab your lunch pails, and I want you to attack this day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. and he's like, he's an 8-year-old. He's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, but it stuck with me. He's like, every day he would say, I want you to attack this day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. And that inspires me, right? You hear that, and you're like, gosh, how do you do that? Every day? I mean, it's just such a powerful thing. So it's kind of a joke in my house. I tell my kids that all the time. My son will shut the door in my face, or my daughter was like, yeah. But he told the story, and he had never said it until 20 years later. He's coming to 49ers head coach, and he's like, look, I listened to it, and I blew it off, but it's how I approach things.
Yeah.
This is kind of my life and how I do it. So in the startup world, I think that quote or that motto, that mindset will help a lot. Yeah, it will help a lot. So I love that one. Yeah, it's a personal favorite.
Yeah, it's interesting. We were talking about kids right before we got on this, and what the influences that our parents really have on us.
Sure.
My mother, as we were running out the door, she used to always say, what shoes are you choosing to put on? I used to go, yeah, whatever, Mom. Because she used to say, you choose to be happy, you choose to be sad. What shoes are you putting on?
Absolutely.
And I used to go, whatever, until I started saying it to my kids, and then realizing it's shaped my entire life.
It does.
I get to walk out the door and choose how
you get to make that
attack
decision.
it enthusiastically, right?
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I totally agree. It's important.
You know, I feel blessed and honored to be able to work with all of you guys and even get the opportunity to sit here and interview you guys, because I learned so much about you. So
Great.
thank you.
Thank you for the time. I appreciate you getting us involved in that. I think it's been great for Fitzy. I think it's been great for Frederick County as well.
Yeah,
so
it really has been.
Really appreciate what you've done.
It's brought like the whole ecosystem together, which is very cool.
And it's been great network. I've met a lot of people that are also advisors that I didn't know that are part of the community. So that's been fantastic. So we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, we're going to pull everybody together too, because you only know like the few that's on your team.
That's true.
We've got to pull everyone together.
That's great.
So that's next.
Awesome.
Well, thank you again for your time, because
Sure.
I know how important it is, right?
That's right.
All
Thank you.
right.
Thanks.
You guys, thanks for listening to In the Trenches, and go to fitzy.org so you can learn more about our advisors. And have a great day. And it's a wrap.